back to the show. This is Moviecase, Las Vegas. You heard me tease this on 2 other podcasts now. Now it's finally happening. I'm here in New Hampshire with...
Tom Sawyer.
Jonathon Sawyer.
There we go. And I had to direct him to give his last name. How terrible is that? Anyway.
Hey, in 2 different tones, too.
Yeah. In one voice. How did you manage?
Well, you know, I was inspired.
He's a singer at heart.
Yeah, but you're a singer
The
who
rest
farts.
of him is what I worry about.
I'm a singer at heart, Nathan. He's a singer who farts.
Nice, John.
Are you saying he plays the tuba?
The tuba.
Well, you know, when you got a rumble and the tumble, you never know what's going to go.
A rumble in the tumble. That could be his autobiography.
Nice.
Speaking of, what is,
Hey, wait a second. I got one more for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. He does butt dancing. Your cousin does ballet dancing.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Who does the ballet dance?
Ballet dancing, belly dancing.
Bubbly dancing?
Too slow.
Yeah. If I wait for him to get it, it will take all night. So let's just move on. Now let's see here. Las Vegas is where we entered with this thing. Okay, so this is a cover. Thank you. This is a 2013 movie. Came out in November 2013. It has Michael Douglas, Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Kline. It is rated PG-13 for sexual content and language. The story is 4 friends go to Vegas years after being friends. Go to Vegas and they throw a bachelor party for Michael Douglas, who is getting married to a younger woman. Unfortunately for him, love pops up in an unexpected place. Also unfortunate for him because Robert De Niro is in love with the same woman again. So that is the story. Very by the numbers and very well done. Good acting, good direction. I cannot say enough nice things about this movie. However, I will probably start jumping in and questioning some of the stuff that I'm about ready to hear, but kind of like Kevin Smith's spoilers, I'm going to turn it over to Thomas and Jonathan to say what they think. So let's start with Jonathan. Jonathan, what did you think?
Well, I have to say one thing, though.
Yes.
Go by the title called Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yes.
But remember at the very end of the movie, a certain one of the clan was back in Vegas. So... why was it called Las Vegas?
Because it's the last hurrah before getting married. It's the last hurrah for the old timers.
And Vegas is notorious for bachelor parties and all kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I mean, even when I went to Vegas the first time, there was a bachelor party on the plane.
On the plane?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they were serving booze at 8 o'clock in the morning on the flight to Vegas. This is 8 a.m.
For
Boston.
everybody, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is 8 a.m. Boston time. I slept through the entire flight, so I didn't have anything to drink. Because I wanted to be able to function in Vegas. I had to be up at 3 in the morning or to head out the door, so...
yeah.
Anyway, there was a bachelor party, and they were hitting on the stewardesses, or the flight attendants, to be politically correct. And I'll tell you the funny part. One of them was a sexagenarian. And these guys are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they were hitting on this woman.
A sexagenarian?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was she sexy?
Not to me.
Maybe
Of course, if you had about 7 or 8 drinks in you by that point, it might be a different story.
And guys get rowdy together.
Yeah.
So how did you sleep?
How did I sleep?
Back of the
with
plane?
my head between my knees.
I'm not going to
That's
ask.
the only comfortable way to sleep in a plane. You can't sleep against a headrest.
Yeah, well, I also couldn't have the table down in front of me.
Oh, because they were leaning back on you?
Well, one, there was no room, and two, because all the seats were like literally crammed in, so like I just barely fit in. But then on top of that, like they said, we can't let you put any of these trays down for the entire flight for safety reasons because of turbulence.
Oh my goodness.
So like everybody was holding their drinks, spilling them on themselves and shit.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, and that was like an 8.5 hour flight out to Vegas, and a 10-hour flight back. So that
air currents, jet stream.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it.
Thankfully, they didn't show that in the movie, right?
No, that's the part they never show in movies. It's always a quick cut. They show the plane taking off, and so ding, we're here. Anyway, so here's the part where we go back to the movie. So, Jonathan, I'm gonna get you to start dissecting things a little bit from a critical perspective. Okay? Performances.
I thought it was pretty well done. Very good acting. These are very well experienced actors.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they had Morgan Freeman. I like Morgan Freeman. And they had Robert De Niro and Michael Douglas and Kevin. What's his name? Kevin Kline, if I remember.
Yeah, Kevin
Kline. I thought it was very well done acting. It was pretty good.
Okay, direction. That means basically saying to the actors, okay, I want you to play it this way or that way. I want this kind of a clock in the room as opposed to that kind of
I think it flowed very well as far as the direction went.
Okay. Soundtrack.
I don't remember what songs they had. Oh! They did have that one song from the 70s.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That nobody knows. Artists, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and they also had Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime.
Yeah.
And
Did you like the woman lead actress singer?
Sorry, Nathan. It's hard for me to remember the songs when I was looking at all those young, big...
breasted ladies. Yeah, that's not a surprise.
They had plenty of those in the movie.
And I thought that was the best direction.
I couldn't tell, the audience.
Mary Steenburgen.
Was this movie aimed at an older audience?
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Most people our age wouldn't necessarily go see these guys. Don't forget, these guys are all either in their late 60s or early 70s when this was made.
Well, they're doing pretty good for their age. Morgan Freeman was breaking it down pretty good.
Yeah, he's in his mid-70s. But, you have to remember that the average age of the audience for these guys is now deceased. That's a half a joke, folks.
Yeah. It's a reality check.
Yeah. Hence, Last Vegas. So, without being too much more direct than that, so soundtrack, you were okay.
I didn't have any problems with it.
Okay, so you were okay with the soundtrack. You liked the acting. You liked the direction.
It was a very interesting story. It was almost like what happened in the past was almost going to be what happens in the present. Right. But then it changed around, and I wasn't so exactly sure what was going to happen when Robert De Niro, when he found out what really happened back between
his late wife and
and I wasn't too sure what he was doing. If he was just going to go off and just be be upset, or if it was going to be how it turned out, actually positive.
Right.
Him returning the favor back to his friend.
Right. Speaking of that favor, wasn't it fun seeing them push each other in the pools?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts.
That had me roaring in theaters. Roaring with laughter, that is.
Yeah.
It's just speaking of returning the favor.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I guess the only other thing that I can get you to analyze is editing. What did you think?
I thought they put it together pretty well. I think it had a very good flow. Like I didn't see really anything that was like too choppy or kind of a weird transition. I thought it had a good flow.
I agree. Okay, so let's turn it over to Thomas now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd contrast that. I think there was one scene that like had a very choppy transition. It was like in the beginning, I think. I'm trying to remember what it was between. I think it was before they fly out, but I don't know.
Well, a lot of the stuff in the beginning was kind of quick flashes of stuff when they were very young, and then it turned into kind of a slow, like, okay, let's build the characters up till.
No, I understand all that. But there was just one transition I thought was awkward or something like that, but I can't remember. So that's not even worth talking about.
Okay, so we'll just say overall good editing on your part. You just had one objection.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's editing. How about performances?
I liked Michael Douglas and Robert De Niro the best.
Agreed. They really...
Especially, Michael Douglas, he brought out his, I don't know what you call it, like boisterous and loud personality that he carried like in other movies like Wall Street, the sequel of Wall Street, and
Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps.
Money Never Sleeps. And
De Niro had a very tough
attitude. He's been working on a lot of family movies recently, and he does the drama well. I think really quite well.
Right. Okay. Well.
And he has like kind of like a more tough personality.
He played the dejected guy well in the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just want to play wordsmith with you for a second, if I may. Do you happen to mean perhaps Michael Douglas's charisma?
Yeah.
Because loud boisterousness is a different in tone than charisma.
Yeah.
I just want
more positive spin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like he's just, yelling and giving orders and stuff like that, like he did.
Well, warm and bubbly, charismatic, powerful, hold your attention.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So
No, it's not a negative thing. Yeah.
Okay, so that's performances, editing. How about soundtrack?
I thought the soundtrack plays to the audience it's targeting, really.
Okay.
All the old 70s and earlier songs.
Yeah.
It's a good soundtrack. I mean, it made you feel like you're in company with the crew.
Right.
You can empathize.
Right.
And
sets the mood and
root for them and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when you think of Vegas, you don't think of like auto-tuned fist-pumping music like we deal with our days, electronica and all that stuff. It's more like classy, the Rat Pack kind of stuff. And they had a few of those kind of songs in there that are reminiscent of that. And then they showed the nightclub scenes too and how it's changed. Right. But that played into the story, so.
And they kind of showed like the old buildings in a way, like kind of like the wreckage of like, what was it, the Stardust?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Stardust, the sands, the flamingo.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting how they put that and interplayed it.
Yeah, and it's funny, they shot this while the flamingo was being torn down, so when they shot one of the scenes, when they're walking through that graveyard of signs is what that's called, it's an actual place in Vegas, that they had the flamingo in there because they had just torn down the flamingo at that point. So that'll give you an idea. The flamingo is now closed, so there's another part of Old Vegas gone. Flamingo. Anyway, so this was, believe it or not, this was shot at the time that I was getting insulted by Jerry Lewis.
No way.
Yeah. So that'll give you an idea. So, okay, where was I? Direction.
Oh, I thought the direction was excellent. I mean, all the the props and stuff they had were really good.
Mm-hmm.
They cued the actors. Like, it felt like the actors were like actually friends in real life. They didn't feel like they were faking it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they played off each other pretty well, and facial expressions and mannerisms. And I thought it was good. You know, I mean, I don't know how to be super analytical, but I guess that's why we get your opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
Who do you think did the worst acting job of the four of them? Not saying like worst as in like they did an awful job, but who do you think
relative to the
other three?
You want to answer that, Thomas?
Do I want to answer that?
You can answer it, and then Nathan can answer it.
Well, no, I'm going to have him answer, and then I'm going to do the last category with him, but go ahead.
Was Kevin Kline the one with the beard?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. And the other guy, Morgan Freeman. I mean, that's really tough. I guess I would just say Kevin Kline because I don't have much experience with him, and I just don't know what to expect from him. But then again, he had to play a very awkward role. He's kind of like that shy guy that was given license by his wife to do whatever, you know. So it's kind of a hard
free
role.
pass or hall pass.
Hard role to play.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman, you know, he carries a certain weight to his name, you know.
In a voice.
So does De Niro and Douglas. They all carry weight with the name.
Yeah, you know, I think of Morgan Freeman, I mean, he's done everything from, like, documentary voicing to all kinds of acting, dramedies, and all that stuff.
Yeah, the same thing with Michael.
He's very prominent. It's because he's older, you know. I mean, Michael Douglas and the other guys too, but I thought
it's a hard one to answer.
Yeah.
It is a really hard one to answer. I guess I'd say Kevin Kline, but
you're gonna hate my answer when I come around to it, but
I mean, like I said, he had to play that awkward guy though, and awkward guy can be funny sometimes, but sometimes it's just awkward.
Okay, well, final category for analysis, story.
Story? I mean, it's a cool story. Group of older guys trying to find the life in them again toward the end of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And had a nice romance to it, right? In the end,
yeah.
You know, lesson on what real love should be and how to have fun with your friends and keep the friendship alive.
Right.
When it's dying because you get sucked into your own life, right?
Right.
Responsibilities.
Right.
It's good to let go once in a while.
That's what she said.
Oh dear.
But that's what she didn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with Kevin Kline.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now comes the movie critic.
How many stars out of 4?
I'm going to toss that over to you for first answer.
I'll say 3.5. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.5 too.
Okay, well, I can tell you that we're all in agreement that it's 3.5 stars.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
that's the
wow.
first.
So
I'm more of a critic than I thought.
So, we're all in agreement that it's 3.5 stars. I will say this, this is the part you're going to hate me for. I can't find a weak performance in this movie at all.
Yeah, that's what I was asking because I couldn't think of one, and I was just going to give it.
Question, Nathan.
I was giving a very tough question for you guys. I wanted to get you thinking.
Yeah, it's just to me. I have watched all these guys in other movies, so
yeah.
I'm aware of how they changed over the years and which roles better suit them and stuff. And these were basically tailored for them.
Yeah.
Same thing with if you see the film Lovely, which is the one I brought up to you, Thomas, while we were watching it.
Yeah.
That was Klein.
Yeah.
He did a great job as Cole Porter in that. And props to Alanis Morissette and I think it was Ashley Judd in that movie as well.
Yes.
So anyway, acting, I liked everybody. I think they're top-notch, perfect. I think the standout performances of like, wow, and this is why they're the great actors that they are, has to go to Robert De Niro and Michael Douglas, as you were saying.
Yeah.
That does not, by any means, detract from Morgan Freeman or Klein, though, in my opinion. They were great in their roles. They did exactly what was asked of them. But I feel like, in terms of the two love triangle stories that are going on, that both De Niro and Douglas bring to it the proper gravity, if you will, for the situation.
As I say, the roles expected that of them, in a way, right? Because it's much more drama. They carried the story more, is what I mean to say.
Right.
And their acting lived up to it.
Right. Right, no, and that's what I mean, too. So that's stuff. The story, I think, is a strictly by-the-numbers story, but there's nothing wrong with that if you know how to execute it properly. And I think that this is going to jump right into direction as well, but I think that the director did a great job pulling from the actors best performances that they could give for this by-the-numbers story that is ultimately satisfying in and of itself. I think that, they were handed a good script. I think that...
It was a good script.
I think that the actors did the best job that they could possibly do with it. You can't ask for anything more from them. The direction was great. In terms of editing, I've seen this movie now 3 times, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's no slow spots.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that. It just kind of went steady pace.
Right. Right, and even at its most heavy-handed, dramatic moment, and I think we can all possibly agree that was right when
Robert De Niro found out
about his late wife and Michael Douglas.
Exactly.
So that I think even at that moment, the pacing never stopped. It kept going at the momentum that it had been going at. And it's never less than riveting for the performances, especially when the drama starts creeping into the story. So anyway, again, I can't say enough good things about this film.
Okay, I'll give you 2 follow-up part questions.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now, and critics gave it a 47%. Do you have any idea as to why it wasn't received that well, at least according to Rotten Tomatoes?
I think it was because it's a by-the-numbers story, and they don't like by-the-numbers stories. They want something to shock them or excite them that's new and stimulating, or at least feels fresh and stimulating. You're also talking about there's a lot of kind of easy jokes to make. About being an old-timer and getting married to a young woman, or being old and dropping dead and stuff. There's a lot of those kind of jokes in there. So there's nothing that's really going to knock your socks off in terms of verbal comedy in there. And I think that's part of why they gave it that lesser rating. But if you look at any of the given reviews of anybody that says this is a by-the-numbers movie and I'm knocking points off of it for that, they are very quick to say that the performances are exceptional, even given the material that they have to work with. So even if you're somebody that can't stand the easy jokes,
you still have to admit that it was very well done.
Right. Thank you for finishing that sentence. I say it here, it comes out there.
I say it here, and it comes out.
Ain't no joke. Anyway.
You want my second question?
Yeah.
Would you call this the Hangover for older guys? The Hangover equivalent movie? For a target audience? It could go either way based on what you just said. It would be kind of like it doesn't have the shock value of Hangover, but at the same time it's kind of like, there's a lot of similarity.
Well, the question is, they were also spinning on the bed in the movie. I think I
stumped Nathan.
No, you didn't stump me. I'm just trying to find the right words for it. I think that there's certainly elements that could be attributed to the likes of the Hangover.
Yeah.
However, I think that this is also it stands on its own film. But at the same time, you could also say that there are elements of this film that take a knowing wink at other films that the actors have been in, such as De Niro doing a little boxing in the mirror. What did he do in 1981 when he was in Raging Bull?
In the bucket list from Morgan Freeman.
Right. So there are knowing winks at the audience that they have. They're hidden in there. You have to find them and watch carefully, but they're in there.
Yeah.
If you're perceptive enough, I'd say that there's enough subtle in jokes that you're not going to be bored looking for them. And even some pop culture ones that people my age would go, oh my God, that's so stupid. But you have to remember how many people of our parents' generation, the baby boomers, are going to know about 50 Cent.
Right, that's true. That's why I was a little confused about the target audience. It's kind of like, I don't know. It seemed like the older audience, but they threw in some of those newer jokes. So maybe that's just because they know the audience won't really understand it.
Well, no, it's because it's like, yeah, it's okay, if these guys don't know, it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were aiming for with it. I think also that people of our generation might go see it, either A, because their parents liked it and they want to see what their parents liked, or B, if they're fans of 50 Cent, they might go see 50 in the movie, even though he's not in there for very long. They might go see him.
50.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think in theory, teenager or up could deal with this.
Yeah.
I think that the target audience, given the cast, are sexagenarians, octogenarians, and people in the 70s.
Yeah.
There's some other generian for that, but I can't remember the terminology. So, overall, I'd say I liked it. Sounds like you guys did too.
Yeah.
Okay, little bonus round here. After we finished watching Las Vegas, we did a bar rescue episode called The Lost Episode. That was done prior to any of what is considered the show episodes. This was the video that got John Tafford the job of bar rescue, the show, with his wife, etc. So I just want to throw it out there for a quick round the table. Well, comments, not necessarily talking about what's in it, but just was it good? So, Thomas.
I thought it was very intense, and it definitely shows Taffer's expertise, like in how he's going to formulate the show.
Right.
The bar he was dealing with and that owner were just out of control. And it was, I have to say, like, it was funny, to watch Taffer yell at him and stuff, but at the same time, it was more of a serious episode because the guy he was dealing with legitimately had big problems.
Right.
And so it was really, like, kind of hard to watch that. the same time.
Right.
So, but it was good. I liked it. Entertaining.
Jonathan.
Oh, I had a joke when Thomas was talking, and then he got so serious I forgot it.
Oh.
That was going to go with my answer.
No.
But I have to say, yeah, no, that guy, as I told you guys when we were watching it, I don't think he grew up past age 15. Still that whiny, complainy.
You're talking about the owner, yeah?
Yeah, the owner.
And
that fight,
let's talk about your parents. We're not.
that fight scene was just the most ridiculous thing.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny.
But let's just say this.
It was a hit.
Well, all I can say is I know that John Tapper doesn't ground when it comes to his job.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
I guess, can I add something else?
Yeah.
I've never seen Taffer get so angry. I think he was legitimately he stormed out of there and everything. Remember that? He stormed out of the kitchen after talking to the owner.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen him angrier than that.
Yeah.
You know the episode where he walked out on the bar and said, "You blew it. I'm walking away from this."
I've seen him. I've seen him threaten that a couple of times on certain bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because they were being almost like sexual predators or something
Right, but there's actually one where he didn't rescue the bar because they had a criminal history, and the owners of the bar verbally berated their employees and physically manhandled them and stuff.
Wow, that's intense.
That must have been a short episode.
No, it was a full-length episode, but it had a very hasty resolution to it. That was basically Taffer walking away from it. I thought that should have been a 2-hour episode.
Was it did he walk away near the beginning of when he was walking in, or was it near the end when they were trying to do the renovations and everything?
No, it was right in the end after her failed stress test, failed training, etc.
And he was like, you know what?
Did it ruin all those people's careers, all the waitresses and bartenders?
Well, pretty much all the good people from there got fired, and all of the bad people kept working there. And Taffer said either she goes or I go a couple of times to people, and they kept bringing the people back. They said they can't be here, and getting rid of the people that he wanted there, so he said that's it, I'm out, after finding out the criminal record and that the owner of the bar was being abusive to his employees.
Awful.
Anyway, that said, my thought on the last episode was that it was good.
Yeah.
And I certainly think that there is a podcast to be had about the show Bar Rescue in general.
Oh, yeah.
So how about this? We make a deal now for when Jonathan comes back for Christmas. We get together again, do the cheesesteaks, and do the Bar Rescue podcast, and maybe do a bullying podcast as part of that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that works well with Taffer.
Yeah. So, okay, so there you go, folks. We're going to do those two come December or early January, and it will be up as soon as we record it. But in the meantime, you've heard our thoughts on Las Vegas, you've heard our thoughts on Bar Rescue. Go check out both. If you're a movie buff, there's nothing that you can find wrong with Las Vegas as far as I'm concerned. Critics might tell you a little bit differently, but they will all tell you that the actors are in top form. So at the very least, enjoy the performances. At the most, think like Thomas, Jonathan, and I do about the movie. With that, I'm Nate Taves.
Thomas Sawyer.
And Jonathon Sawyer.
Thank you for listening, and tune in on whatever the hell the next one is. I'm not even sure.